Hey, welcome back to another Black City Coffee vlog. In this video, I had some requests. Well, I always get these requests, which is, can you help me set up my roaster? Do you teach classes? And I'm always like, no. You guys are always welcome to view the YouTube channel, but just know, like, these are all anecdotal. They're all based on my own personal, very, very individual situation, experience, machine, coffee that I can get, all that stuff, okay? However, since I keep getting this question, I want to make a video about it, all right? So, setting up your roaster. If you have a Mill City roaster, it's really, really imperative, and I think important for you to have a conversation and call with Mill City Roaster team, okay? I say this, but the vibe that I get after I say this is like not as excited. They're like, "Mate, can you help me set it up? Blah, blah, blah." And that's so cool that you would trust me to do that. But, you know, I have to give it up to the certified people who made the machine and have all the specs and all that stuff for safety, okay? So the reason why you don't want to skip this call is for safety, perhaps even legal reasons. If you're very serious and you're going to go into business, you need to do it correctly, okay? Don't copy what I'm doing, because I'm not doing, I'm not in business. Yes, I have a business online and I sell coffee, but I don't, it's a hobby, okay? It's a hobby for me. If you're straight up being like, this is my business, I want to make profit, I do not want to have any problems where I'm roasting this coffee, especially if you're going to do it from home, you need to follow all the rules. Check all the boxes, okay? So get on the call with the Mill City Roaster team. They are always going to pick up the phone. It's like their policy. They're very, very nice people. They are the coolest people. You'll probably have a call with Angie. Very nice person, okay? She's going to help you out, hook you up, all that stuff. Everybody over there is amazing. I'm always going to refer them if you ask me this question. I'm always going to refer them. And that's just a general good rule. Like, go to the maker of your machine. You already invested a lot of money. If you got a Mill City roaster, it is not cheap. Obviously, it's made and built very well, but it also comes with great customer support, all right? Now, this may be biased because that's the only machine I have, but like when I was making the decision to buy the Mill City roaster machine that I have right now, I was like, yo, I don't want to get something and then be scratching my head at instructions that I can't read or don't even make grammatical sense, right? You've all bought something from somewhere on Amazon and there's no instructions, and if there is, they're whack, okay? So I just was like, yo, I'm not going to skip that step for my freaking roaster, right? It's some heavy machinery. They get on a Skype call with you, all that stuff. So don't be scared of them if that's what you're feeling, or being anxious about getting on the phone with them, or anything like that. You know, they're super nice. Often I get the question, do you have roaster courses or classes online or something like this? The closest thing that you guys got for free is on YouTube, okay? The problem is, I know, it's not all like concise and pretty and, you know, put together for you, like in a book or something like that, right? And that's why certain people who do write books and do put in the time and effort and money and investment to put together a book, they do very well, because not a lot of people will do that work, you know, or have that capital or money to do that, okay? And so I encourage you to, you know, consume any sort of material that helps you learn. But Mill City Roasters, if you got a Mill City Roaster, they have courses. And if you quickly just Google right here, all right, roaster courses online, it's already there. You got your ROW, you got your Mill City Roasters, you got Udemy, Espresso Academy, D-Trick, SEA Training, okay, Rob Who's, I clicked on this, okay, professional classes through Onyx Coffee Lab, cool. I mean, there's a ton. This is the work you have to do, I think, and it's a good filter for those who are like, do I want to get into roasting, and you haven't got a machine yet? You can look up the courses on what it is and kind of get a probe probe the environment, what it is to learn roasting. I don't know what kind of learner you are, If you know what kind of learner you are, like, yo, I need hands-on, have a hand on my shoulder right here to tell me what to do. If that's the type of learner you are, then, look into more hands-on training. There's a bunch of online stuff. There's a bunch of books you can read. They're quite expensive. I want to show you something right here. Rob Hughes, okay? The dude of Modulating Coffee. What was his book? Modulating the Flavor Profile of Coffee, okay? This is basically what you'll get into once you just understand how to take coffee from green to brown. And then later on you'll be like, oh, this is how to make a very light roast in regards to this type of green and varietal. Okay? Dark side. Look at this. Coffee varieties and how to roast them. $1,000 is on sale. They're heavy investments for these types of courses, but they're going to be super invaluable to you. Okay? So this is the part that I think is a good filter in terms of like, how bad do you want it? There's so many resources nowadays. When I first started, this wasn't really here. And this is very new, like there's definitely like a demand and a thirst, especially if people are asking me, tiny little me, where they could go to people like Rob or Mill City Roasters. Okay, so there's definitely demand. So there's going to be a lot more competition. There's going to be a lot of things for you guys to choose from. So don't be afraid of that, okay? And then there's mine, And if you want to sit through me jabbering, that's the problem, I guess. It's like, yo, I got to listen to 8 minutes, 11 minutes, 13 minutes, 16 minutes. Oh, it's too long. Or maybe you just don't like the teacher, right? You got to like the teacher. I encourage you to find a teacher that you really love because you're going to be hearing their voice for a long time. If you're watching this video, maybe you like the voice. Cool. But yeah, nothing wrong with just like binging everything. That's what I do. I'm that type of learner, okay? So if you're the type of learner hands-on, get that hands-on training. If you're more laissez-faire like I am, I'm like, I just need to know what I need to know right now. I will adjust later. That's how I am, honestly. Tailor your own learning to how you like to learn. With all that being said, you go to Mill City Roasters. Maybe you guys don't know how to spell it. millcityroasters.com. You go to education. You go to Roasting 101 or view all support and training. Okay? Boom, 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 boom. They even sell books here. And you can kind of bet, like, if people are selling these 2 books, they kind of like semi-endorsing what they're saying. So if you got a Mill City Roaster, but maybe you were looking at a book or a piece of material that wasn't on here, and you've got this roaster, maybe that won't match up in terms of roasting philosophy. Okay, now let's talk about roasting philosophy. Okay, if I was your mentor, which is indirectly happening if you are sending me these questions or watching these videos, okay, or in your sphere of learning coffee roasting, I'd say these things first to you first. Okay, first to you first. Number 1, learn roast theory. Just Google it, all right? Everybody has their own specific theory on how they roast coffee in their roastery. That is not the same as just general coffee roast theory, okay? So just get up to snuff on the basics. That way, when you step into a course, when you step into watching videos and stuff like that, or you have a kind of basic understanding, okay? Now, this is not to say this is how X roastery likes to roast this coffee. This is how Meg likes to roast her coffee, and that therefore is roast theory. No, that's my roast theory. That is X roastery's roast theory. So there's a general one, right? Okay, so that's going to be your 2-minute turnaround, a 4-minute dry end or green to yellow transition, 8-minute first crack, and then another 2 minutes for the third phase, development phase. That's your standard thing. ROR goes down, and bean temperature goes up. Okay? That's generally the roast theory. And how all that happens, you can read about that. Just Google it. All right? Ask ChatGPT. Look at it on a video. The general roast theory. Number 2, I'd say how different machines affect roast theory. Okay, so it'll all depend on what kind of machine or technology at your disposal that you're going to roast your coffee. So in the end, it's really just machine operation. You know, that's what was said to me when I was learning as well. When I went through the Klatch training, he's like, once you learn how coffee is roasted, it's just learning how to operate your machine. So it doesn't matter. You can put any machine that you want here, right? We talked about this guy. Maybe say it's a Dietrich, or it's a Gissen, or it's a San Franciscan, whatever, right? You have a drum type roaster. And then how different machines affect roast theory. So your basic machines are going to be your drum versus your fluid bed versus, that's basically it. Those are the two. That's the two you're going to run into. Drum or fluid bed, okay? So you're either going to be roasting things by convection, like hot air, or conduction and convection, which is drum roasters, okay? I would just learn, okay, how different machines affect roast theory, all right? Okay, like, so this is what a fluid bed roaster, how it roasts coffee and what kind of profiles I can make with that. And, you know, you can maybe see into the future a little bit and be like, well, this is the type of coffee I'm going to make. I'm just going to make dark roast coffee, and I want to take it hella dark, and that's it. And I want to slap my label on it and sell that, you know, and call it a day, and have it taste good with milk. You don't want to make white drinks. Okay, so it kind of benefits you to know where you're going a little bit. Learn roast theory. Know where you're going. These are my notes. Know where you're going. What kind of coffee do you want to make? You know, that helps a little bit, even though you're probably going to change your mind, all right? You're just going to evolve. You're going to change. You just don't know what you don't know right now if you're in the beginning, okay? Don't get too worried about it. Don't get hung up. And then number 4, I'd say I would learn how cupping plays a really crucial role into learning how to roast. You know, like what I would do in the beginning, I would be like, I would buy coffee from roasters that I think that I like. And before I was doing this, but I was not conscious about it. I wasn't conscious about it. So I would learn how to cup these. You know, I would take a cupping course. It's really fun. Hasea has cupping courses. I mean, you just got to find the one that's in your area. I'm only going to talk about resources that I've used personally and frequent. So where we go? Learn coffee classes. You can do a whole day with him on November 18th for $150, or you can do Introduction to Quality Analysis. Ooh, I think I'll take something like this. Quality Analysis. So I try to take all his courses. I've done this one, all right, Coffee Roasting 101. No, actually, have I done this? I think I've done cupping. Introduction to Coffee Roasting, that probably wouldn't be helpful to me. I'm not a beginner anymore. Although it wasn't $60. Good on you, Jared. Increasing the price. Good. Okay. Now, take a cupping course if you can. And then take them as frequently as you can. Even though, so say this is Coffee Tasting 101. If I go right now, I will still learn something new. Okay? That's a cool thing about coffee. Cup as much as you can while you're learning the basics. You know, try to cup as frequently as you can. You know, don't worry that, you know, if the dots don't make sense yet in the beginning. They're not. They're just not. So let that go. You know, let that anxiety go. You just need exposure. Go through the motions. Get in the practice. Learn the methods. You know, kind of just go through all the motions of things that are going to become second nature because you've been doing them over and over again. Like cupping and tasting and slurping and going, oh, okay. You're telling me this is an 85-point coffee. All right, I don't know what that means yet, but I'm tasting it and you're telling me, and okay. So you're just like logging information, you're collecting data, okay? And during this time, I think you should be learning about green quality. Where are you going to source your green? Why is it good? Why is it bad? Why is it fresh? Why does it cost the way that it costs? Why is it scored the way that it's scored, if it is scored? And how is that going to translate into the coffee? Again, we go back to knowing where you're going. How is that going to translate to the coffee I want to make? All right. So this can all be read about online. I think in general, you watch my videos, you'll get all that if you're down to binge and kind of like cherry pick information and let the good things fall through and let my babbling, kind of like go out of your brain and just sort of like distill all the golden bits. How do you know what are the golden bits? You don't know yet. You don't know yet, honestly. But you can all read about it online. And I think whatever sticks to your mind now as a beginner, cool. Just let it be as it is. That's how it's sort of like, it is what it is, okay? And you can learn about all this out online without much investment. A lot of it's free nowadays. That's awesome. But here's my other big tip, if I am your mentor. Do not subscribe to any one ideology just yet. All right? Even mine. The way that I roast coffee for Black City Coffee is my roast philosophy. And it's going to change. It's going to evolve. You are going to learn your own roast philosophy and ideology later. Okay? But if you subscribe already to the way that a coffee is, especially if you're, nothing wrong with that, but I think you're maybe limiting yourself as a roaster. You could be. Do I think I roast the best coffee? No, I do not. But I understand that just based on my very anecdotal experience, I'm developing my own habits and understanding and concepts of the coffee that I can get a hold of, and based on my own limitations and biases, I'm developing my own roast theory. And if you just taste the coffee, you'll get to understand that. Some people will be like, it's a little underdeveloped. No one said that, but I often think that about my own coffee, and I'm like, I feel like maybe it's underdeveloped. But I like it. Maybe I like underdeveloped coffee sometimes with this particular green, Just don't subscribe yet. There's nothing wrong with going like, oh, I'm going to roast like this forever and ever. I just don't think it's realistic. Because I feel like I approached it that way. It's sort of like very authoritarian, purist about it. But in the end, coffee is not that way. Coffee will not always behave the way you want it to behave. It is what it is. So I think it's best to be versatile, and eventually, later, you will develop your own ideology and coffee philosophies later. But don't worry so much about it in the beginning. In the beginning, just like, okay, I see you. That's what you do. That's what you do. That's what you do. Okay, this makes this thing, after learning all that theory and whatnot and taking all these courses and reading, and this is what makes sense to me. Let me try it. Let me cup it. Let me taste it. All right, I like it, or I don't like it, and adjust. That's all it is, okay? I would encourage you to trust your own taste buds, your own intuition as you build it, as you build confidence. In the beginning you have none because you just have no practice, and that's fine. But don't, I just hope you don't get too hung up on trying to be perfect with everything, about a number, about a curve, about a coffee. I don't know, maybe you like that, whatever. But I think that kind of takes away the fun of it and the joy of sharing it with the others, Okay. I think what matters is that you understand the basic concepts, the basic theory of roasting, okay? And that you're able to think critically on your own to make decisions at the roaster and apply it when you come across it in real life. I think that's the most important. Those are my tips. All right. And you know, my videos are long, so that's what it is. So if you're down to listen to all that and you got all that, but maybe you distilled some golden nuggets from there for yourself, that's what I do. And that's how I learn. So hopefully it helped. Okay. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Meanwhile, let me see. I think I have some DMs to answer.